Tomiwa was the kind of girl that turned heads not because she tried to, but because she was light. Her skin, a soft glow like morning papaya. Her eyes, curious and bright. Her laughter, the kind that tickled the walls of her home in Ijbuod. She was chubby, tall, beautiful, and loved deeply by her parents, Alhaji and Alhaja Adebayo. Every morning, her mother kissed her forehead and her father would grin and say, "Tomiwa, Iowo Omomi, my daughter, my joy." Their home was a castle built on affection, not just bricks and wealth. The Adebayo compound was the envy of many, not because of the cars or the shimmering Ankara fabric her mother wore, but because of the warmth it radiated. But joy, like palm wine, sometimes sours before the gourd is empty. One Saturday, dressed in matching Ayabi for a wedding in Ibadan, her parents had kissed her goodbye. "We'll be back before evening," her mother had promised. But they never returned. The rain that fell that day carried with it blood, glass, and finality. A head-on collision. A screech. Silence. At 12 years old, Tomiwa's world fell apart. And just like that, the house of laughter turned cold. The walls whispered, the rugs mourned, and the plates remained untouched on the table. Her uncle, Gun, came from a cure, speaking soft words and dry comfort. But the moment they crossed into his compound, Tomiwa realized she had walked into a different world. Her aunt, Ranti, had a mouth that never smiled and eyes that sliced like a cutlass. The first night, she was handed a wrapper and told, "Lie on the floor. This is not your father's house." She slept beside the store, near empty kerosene cans and cockroach droppings. Her soft mattress became concrete. Her dreams became memories. Within weeks, she was the housemaid. Auntie Ranti's daughters, Bimbo and Lola, did nothing but eat, sleep, and follow men with painted nails and deceitful hips. Bimbo was vain, always posing, always adjusting her wigs in the mirror. She had no ambition except to marry rich. Lola was worse as lazy, flirtatious, always chatting with one Alhaji or the other. Tomiwa washed their clothes, cooked their meals, and still received insults when the stew wasn't spicy enough. Her hands grew rough. Her eyes lost light. Her smile vanished like mist in sunlight, still, she endured. She cooked before dawn, fetched water from distant wells, and endured Ranti's curses. "You this Abiku. You brought misfortune into this house." Sometimes Ranti would accuse her of stealing soup meat just to have an excuse to beat her. Tomiwa often cried into her pillow-less mat, whispering, "Masaida loju olo run, I will be okay, God sees me." One scorching afternoon, Bimbo's white slippers weren't polished. That night, Ranti dragged Tomiwa by her ears and hissed, "Since you are too big for your duties, go and fetch water from the evil forest tomorrow. Let them teach you manners." The evil forest. A place feared by all, avoided even by hunters. Children were told tales of spirits and headless creatures. But Tomiwa had no say. By dawn, she carried a small gourd, tied her torn wrapper, and set off. Her feet ached. Her heart pounded. The path grew darker, lonelier, as trees towered like giants. She prayed with every step, then she saw him. A man, unconscious, bloodied, beside a motorbike, his hand weakly grasping the gravel. She froze. "Run," her instinct said. But another voice, the voice of her mother, said, "Tomiwa, help those who cannot help themselves." She ran to him, tore part of her wrapper, cleaned the blood from his head, and poured her only water into his mouth. His eyes flickered. "Who are you?" He managed. "Tomiwa," she whispered, "you saved me." He fainted again. She waited, shielding him from the sun with leaves. A car eventually arrived. His assistant. The man, it turned out, was Dr. Mofolaranfimi, a renowned neurosurgeon and philanthropist. He was in disguise, assessing rural health needs for a project. The assistant took her details. Days later, Dr. Mof returned, not as a wounded stranger, but as a rescuer. He walked into Ranti's compound, his voice calm but stern. "I've come for Tomiwa." She's under my foundation's care now. Ranti objected, insulted him, threatened police. But Dr. Mof dropped a single name, Commissioner Adeyemi, and silence followed. That night, Tomiwa left with a single gonna-must-go bag and an old photo of her parents. From there, her world transformed. She went to the best school. Tutors taught her. She learned to speak English like water, then French like a song. She studied medicine, inspired by the same man she had once saved. Dr. Mof became her mentor, her father in destiny. From Ibadan to Cape Town, then London, Tomiwa soared. At 29, she became Dr. Tomiwa Adebayo, the youngest female neurosurgeon at the National Hospital. Her name was on lips across Nigeria. People said she was beauty and brilliance molded by angels. Her story aired on radio. Magazines sought her photo. But she remained quiet, humble, and hidden. She never told the world the depth of her wounds, until the letter came. It was from Bimbo. Her husband had lost his job. Now he cooked and cleaned while Bimbo fought off debt collectors. She begged for help. Then another came. Lola had been diagnosed with a malignant brain tumor. She was deteriorating fast. They needed a miracle. Their referral? Lagos State University Teaching Hospital. Her hospital. They didn't know. She watched from behind the glass as Bimbo entered with heavy makeup, tears on her lashes. Lola lay on a stretcher, pale, scared, a shadow of her once arrogant self. Ranti sat quietly, a scarf covering her now gray hair. Tomiwa walked in. Heads turned. Bimbo gasped. Ranti's lips quivered. Lola blinked in disbelief. Doctor. You. It's you. Tomiwa's voice was calm. I see life has come full circle. They all broke down. She didn't raise her voice. She didn't curse. She simply said, Lola, I will perform your surgery. Bimbo, we'll talk about your husband's state after. Bimbo fell to her knees, weeping. Ranti tried to speak, but no words came. Tomiwa walked away quietly. She had chosen mercy over revenge. Not because they deserved it, but because she was no longer the girl who cried on a mat beside kerosene cans. She was a woman carved by pain but refined by grace, and that was how Tomiwa, the girl they tried to bury, returned as the healer they never saw coming. Not just a survivor, but a redeemer. The girl with soft hands and a lion's heart. The light that darkness could not extinguish.